so absolutely minuscule, aren't you? You're absolutely tiny. So tiny. So weak. You cannot escape me. You cannot escape me. Try if you'd like. You can try. You won't get very far. Those tiny, tiny little legs of yours, they won't carry you far. They will not carry you far. I can simply reach over and grab you wherever you run to. I can simply reach over and grab you with my big, big hands and my long, long arms. Maybe I should stop playing with my food and simply tuck in. What do you think? Yes, I think so. Ain't no way you taste this good. Ain't no way you taste this good. That's almost overpoweringly good. Almost overpoweringly good. Oh my goodness me, oh my goodness me, oh my goodness me, oh my goodness me. I cannot believe it. Where have you been all my life? You are an absolute delicacy. A delicacy the likes of which I've never tasted before. I must have more. I simply must. That flavor profile is insane. Absolutely insane. I've never tasted anything quite like you before. Delicious. I wonder if there is some way in which we might farm you. We might farm you, you know what I'm saying? We could produce more of you. Maybe we could even serve you at restaurants. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Being completely and utterly at my mercy. Being farmed like a simple animal. You got that umami, baby. You got that umami, baby. I like that umami, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I like that umami flavor. Astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. a supposed miracle that occurs in a small church, in a small village in England. And the Vatican, the Catholic Church, they send 2 priests to investigate the authenticity of the miracle. And there is also a tech guy with the 2 priests. The tech guy is sort of an atheist, more agnostic really, more agnostic. But the characters are fantastic, absolutely fantastic, very realistic, very believable, you know what I'm saying, very believable, very realistic. And the good thing about this found footage horror film is because there's a tech guy and because they're an investigative team investigating a supposed miracle in a church, they have a good reason to be wearing these high-tech cameras that are mounted on headbands, you know, on the sides of their head. So there's no sort of rubbish footage or shaky footage, and there's no bizarre circumstances where they drop the cameras mid-action because it's just strapped to their heads, you know. It is a very, very good film, and if you're into horror movies, especially found footage horror movies, then I highly recommend it, The Borderlands, that's what it's called. What's that? I'm eating you so you won't be alive to watch it afterwards. Don't be so silly, don't be so silly, don't be so silly, don't be so silly. I'm not going to eat you entirely. Why do I look like some sort of monster? No. I would never eat you entirely. That would be monstrous, and I am no monster. I am just a man with unusual appetites. A man is a monster. What kind of comment is that? All men are monsters, are they? What are you, I've forgotten the word. It's the opposite of a misogynist, not a misanthrope, because that's somebody that dislikes both men and women, all human beings. I straight up cannot remember it. I cannot remember the word for a person that hates men. My brain. It's a little bit deficient, isn't it? Maybe it's deficient in nutrients. Nutrients which I might extract from you by eating you. Yes, that is my plan. That is my plan, to eat enough of you to grow my brain back to its original form of glory. Back to its original form of glory. Am I alone in thinking that I was a lot smarter when I was a child? Is that a stupid thing to think? But it seems to me that I was a lot smarter when I was in school. Maybe not a young child, maybe a teenager, you know, around that age. I swear that I was smarter then than I am now. Yes, I'm saying that the more intelligent you become, the less happiness you experience. Do you think that might be true? Do you think that might be true, that hypothesis? I think it might be. Certainly when you consider the old saying, ignorance is bliss. It really is, you know, it really is. Ignorance is bliss. I envy animals that do not know that one day they shall pass away. Imagine not knowing that fact. You might say that you might value life a little bit less. You would certainly act differently. You might act less cautiously. And I think that might be a good thing. Although imagine human beings being less cautious than they are now. We're already absolute reprobates, destructive creatures, dangerous creatures, I would say. I would go so far as to say. It's peculiar when you really think about it, because physically human beings were not particularly dangerous or intimidating, you know what I mean? I'm saying that we don't have gigantic teeth, we don't have gigantic claws, we don't have poison or venom. There is nothing about us that is necessarily physically dangerous, immediately so anywhere. And yet, I think you could very, very well make the argument that we are the most dangerous species on the entire planet. In fact, I think that is a certainty. To suggest otherwise would be madness. Madness. So what is it that makes us human beings so utterly dangerous? Is it our brains? Is it our brains? Is it our intelligence? But surely intelligence alone does not necessarily indicate dangerousness, although it does at least indicate a potential for danger, because you have the potential to do extremely dangerous things. But why would you do them? Why would you do them? Why would you feel compelled to do something dangerous, to do something violent? Of course, for survival. That is probably the only justification for violent action, for survival. And even then, certain peoples would argue against it. They would argue that violence is never acceptable. Never acceptable, never acceptable. Even for your own survival. They might suggest that your life is not greater than the life of whoever or whatever you might be conducting violence against. It's like those religious people. No, not vegans. Jainists. I don't remember what they called it. It's some sort of Eastern religion where they basically for something to happen, make it happen through action. You know what I'm saying? You tiny little creature. Do you understand what I'm saying? What's that? You're feeling a little bit woozy. You're struggling to concentrate. What, are you tired or something? It's because I'm eating you. Don't be so absolutely absurd. What, you can't handle somebody eating just a small portion of you? Just a small percentage, you can't even handle that. Typical tiny little creature, typical tiny little creature. You should try to grow big and strong like me. Big and strong like me, and then you can handle anything. Nothing can stop you then. Nothing. What would you do, tiny little creature? What would you do, tiny little creature? If you were so powerful that nothing could stop you, would you live a peaceful and benevolent life? Or would you lead a life of violence, of selfishness? Would you take whatever you wanted from the world around you at any costs? Damn the consequences. Is that what you would do if you were a large, powerful being? Or would you live a simple, peaceful life? It is an interesting thing to think about, little creature. It is also one of those scenarios in which you think you will act a certain way, but when the scenario actually presents itself in real life, you in fact behave differently to how you thought you would behave. Perhaps because you do not truly know yourself, or perhaps because you lie to yourself to make yourself believe that you are a good creature, when in fact you are like many others. Selfish, solipsistic. That might not be true, of course, that might not be true. What do I know? Certainly, you know yourself better than I know you, and your judgment upon yourself will be much more accurate and valid than my judgment upon you, or the judgment of anyone else upon you, except perhaps God. But I don't know. I don't know about you. I haven't heard from God yet. Despite my numerous prayers, there has been no answer from God. No direct answer. Perhaps, of course, he does not communicate directly. Perhaps, of course, he does not communicate in ways that we communicate. Don't you think that would make total and utter sense? He's not like us, so why would he communicate like us? And if we communicate differently, surely it would be difficult to understand each other. I think that communication barrier would be removed, though. Once we leave the physical plane of existence, once our soul ascends, then there will be no barrier for communication, no communication barrier. You are looking tired now. You are looking woozy. I shall be merciful